Let's go!
Lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the
YouTube, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about or recapping the Watkins Glen race. If you guys do enjoy, make sure you like, hit the subscribe button. Let's get right into the video. To start off, I want to quickly recap the race, who finished where, how, or not who finished where, we'll get to that later, but how the race went, what events happened throughout the race, and all of that. Stage 1 was dominated by Chase Elliott, as he would lead every single lap, along with Denny Hamlin, I believe, and Martin Truex were your top three, and William Byron was actually second for about half the stage, and then would lose second place and kind of fade throughout the field. We'd also see strategy from people like Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, and Kevin Harvick, I believe, who pitted right before the stage. That way they could have the lead coming into stage 2. With about, 4 laps in, also I forgot to add, Kyle Busch would try and make a pass on William Byron. He would lose the control of the car, and because William Byron was the car next to him, he blamed it on William Byron, because nothing can be Kyle Busch's fault. Later in the race, Kyle Busch proceeds to end the day for William Byron, because nothing can be Kyle Busch's fault. Byron would try and retaliate, but it would not be very successful, as yes, he did get damage on the 18 car, but the 18 car would go ahead and brake check the 24, which would then get the 24 damage, so it just didn't help either car. So anyways, moving on, Kyle Larson would stay out and take the lead, but obviously he would have to pit because he didn't have enough fuel, so he would pit about 11 laps in, it feels like, maybe 11 to go, one or the other. And then Chase Elliott would assume the lead. He had worked his way through the field and had a really fast car there at the beginning. This would go on with Chase Elliott leading and Martin Truex Jr. kind of weaving through the cars who did not take tires at the end of the stage and stayed out. Chase Elliott wouldn't really be able to actually pull away as much as you would think on fresher tires, and Truex seemed to maybe have the faster car. We would then have a caution, as Reed Thornton in the 77 would have just some sort of failure. It would restart with about 5 to go, and it would be Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. pulling out P1, P2, Chase Elliott in the lead. It looks like they're about to battle. Chase Elliott looks like they're about even. I can't really say one was really faster. Chase Elliott would gain at one part, Truex to gain at another part. It looked to be a pretty even battle there in stage 2. Chase Elliott would get the win, as we would finish stage 2 under caution due to a Bubba Wallace wreck. Stage 3 would once again feature Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. as they would pull away about like 12 seconds from they were about a second faster each lap than third place and beyond, and they were obviously the class of the field. These two would go at it. I think Chase Elliott would probably pull out to at the most a second lead, probably a little bit less, and then a Ty Dillon on better tires, but a lapped car would slow down Chase Elliott, bring Martin Truex behind him, and for about 5 laps, it felt like forever, they would be about 3/10 from each other. Truex was better at braking and would get up to Chase Elliott's rear, but then Chase Elliott would get off the corner better, and it was really a fun battle to watch. Then Chase Elliott would pit, Truex coming in the next lap, and Chase would actually get the better time and pull out maybe like 5/10 faster, or 5/10 ahead of Truex, about 5 to 6, but still looked like it was going to be a great battle. But then under a NASCAR non-stop, I do vividly remember that, just chaos ensued. First, Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Blaney got into it. Blaney, I guess, kind of turned the 48 or just got to his nose. I actually missed that part, but Jimmy Johnson was not happy, and he would have to pit. Obviously, he went into a tire barrier. Then on the front straightaway, I did catch this. Bubba Wallace and Kyle Busch got into it. Now, Bubba Wallace had wrecked earlier in the race. Kyle Busch, I'm not sure if he was the aggressor yet, or the reason why. It makes sense as to why Bubba did it, but from what I understand is Bubba kind of ran Kyle Busch to the right, Kyle Busch ran him back, and then Kyle Busch would end up being spun by Bubba Wallace, which definitely, it made me happy, but I don't know how warranted it was. During the final restart, you would see Chase Elliott. Looked like he got a good restart, but then Truex would clip him right on the inside, like the the right quarter panel. It didn't spin him out or anything, but then it was able to keep, Truex's foot in the door. They would then get side by side, beating and banging. Both sides looked like they could have gotten a tie rub there. Luckily, nothing did happen, and we would see probably one of the longest battles I've seen in quite a while. It felt like forever, these two going at it back and forth. Well, not back and forth, but you would see maybe Chase Elliott pulled away to lead at first, but then Truex would reel in, and then Truex would kind of fade, and then we would see Truex reel him in again. And then at the end, Chase Elliott was able to hold off Martin Truex, led about 80-something laps, the second most laps led at a Watkins Glen race, and would get his 5th career win. And as a Chase Elliott fan, I am a very happy person about this, but a very well done race right there by those two. They were the class of the field. They pulled away no matter what, about 9 to 10 seconds away from anybody else. They were by far the fastest cars. Maybe Kyle Busch, if he hadn't, went ham on the rest of the field, maybe he would have been able to compete with them, but obviously that didn't happen. But still, if Martin Truex would have won that race, I would have been disappointed, but definitely he was very deserving of that win. Notable finishes here. Chase Elliott first place, had a great race all day. Like I said, led about 80 laps. Really dominant performance here for him. Definitely something he was looking for because he has had a pretty bad last month or two, and definitely looking to turn it around here, and it definitely worked out for him. Truex in second place. He just got the short end of a stick of a great battle, and definitely would not have blamed. I would not be mad at all if he would have won. I mean, I would have been mad because Chase Elliott didn't win, but I would be mad at him winning. Third place, Denny Hamlin. He'd been consistently the third place for most of the race, and maybe if Kyle Busch didn't have all those issues, maybe he would have been in that spot. But Hamlin, definitely a pretty good road course racer, so not surprised at all. Eric Jones, fourth place. He has been, he's one away from having 4 straight top 3s for that 20 cars, so he is firing on all cylinders at the right time here heading into the playoffs. I'd say he's pretty well safe going into the round of 16. And one more thing on Hamlin, he's another one who's firing all cylinders right now. I believe this is his 3rd straight top 3, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously won last week, finished 2nd at New Hampshire, so he's having a good stretch of races. I wasn't thinking at the beginning of the season that he was really a contender, but even though he had 2 wins, he seemed to kind of be a little inconsistent. But right now, if he keeps up looking the way he is, he definitely, I have him in my final 4. Ryan Blaney, 5th. This is definitely a good finish for a person who's been really inconsistent. He's had good finishes, and then at other times he hasn't had good finishes. But definitely a good race for him. He came from the back, if I'm not mistaken. 6th place, Matt DiBenedetto. Really great finish for this guy, and I'm hoping that the 95 will give him another chance. And he was very emotional in his interview, and he knows these headlines. He sees the headlines just like us, and I think a lot of people forget that. He knows his seat is on the right. That's actually what he started the interview out. I know my seat's on my right. I'm driving for my life right now, and you can tell he's got 3 top 5s to show for it, all in the last month or two. 1 at Sonoma, 1 at New Hampshire, and not 3 top 5s, but 1 just outside the top 5. He passed Harvick and Larson. He passed them based on speed. So that 95 team has definitely figured something out, and I'm not going to lie, when I feel that when this team gives him the equipment, I don't think he's had the equipment to get the finishes he's getting all season long. He had it at Daytona. He led the most laps there. He had it at Sonoma, got a top 5, almost at 3, and I think he finished 4th there, so he's almost a top 3. 5th at New Hampshire, and now 6th at Watkins Glen. I think if he keeps this up, he's going to make it very hard for Gibbs to put Christopher Bell in there, but it's just so hard right now between Eric Jones, DiBenedetto, and Christopher Bell having to choose just 2. Maybe somehow they can pull a 59 car, and it'll just be the perfect scenario where everybody gets a cup ride. But, that's what I'm just hoping for right now, because everybody thought that Christopher Bell was going to easily get into the Cup Series. Thought if Eric Jones does so bad, then they'll put him in there. Well, Eric Jones just turns it on as he has in the last month or two. then they're like, oh, well, Matt DiBenedetto, he should be a pretty easy target. He hasn't been performing that well in the Vine family racing equipment. 2 top 5s in the last month. They are, I mean, these Cup drivers, they know they are on their rides are on the line, and especially DiBenedetto, he doesn't know if he's going to get another ride. And he is going out there, and he's outperforming the equipment, I would say. He said he had a top 10 car, so. But Matt DiBenedetto, I have been high on this guy ever since he joined that 32 car. He leaps and bounds faster than anybody else who had driven that 32 car. And right now, he's looking very good heading into the second half. Or we're not heading in. We're in the second half of the season. But hopefully he can keep this up. It's really great seeing DiBenedetto up there, and I would not put. He has the talent to win a race. I think if he is put in a race-winning situation, he can definitely come out on top. Well, moving on now, since after that long spiel about DiBenedetto, Kevin Harvick, 7th place. He was in like kind of the middle pack of the field, like in the 20s maybe, in the teens, and then he did a strategy. He pit and then stayed out at the end of stage 1, and at the beginning of stage 2 he had the lead. Larson got in front of him, but then Larson stayed out, so then Harvick would just he kind of faded. I think he ended up finishing in the top 5 still. It was still a great finish, and got some stage points there, and just never really faded through the field. I mean, that strategy definitely worked out very well for him. And Larson, who finished in 8th place, he actually stayed out. He did not pit before the end of the stage. He stayed out and still got an 8th place finish, so great race for him. I mean, he's just looking, and he said it, I believe, before the race, he's just looking to nurse his points lead. He's not really going out there to win, which is something I really like to hear from that 42 team. Kozlowski, looks like I put a comma there in 9th place. He was kind of quiet all day. I didn't really see much about him. Like I said, pretty quiet day for him. Kurt Busch, 10th, another pretty quiet day for him. He'd been pretty hot here recently, obviously getting that win in Kentucky, and just was kind of there. And then Kyle Busch in 11th, very long and documented day, starting out with a spin in turn 1. He spun on his own, but blamed Byron because he was the closest car, wrecked him, and then Byron tried to get revenge, and it just kind of didn't work out for either car. Then Bubba Wallace and him get into it, and he gets spun out, still finishing 11th, which is why I believe if he had no issues, he would probably be up there with that top 3. I think we all can agree on that. Now, looking here at kind of the playoff bubble, right now Johnson and Newman are tied for 16th, and Bowyer has a little bit of a cushion there, but they all finished pretty bad. Suarez 17th, Johnson 19th, Bowyer 20th, and Newman 25th. Suarez is basically out of it. I just put him there because I just needed a name to fill in, so I just kind of put him there. I guess Chris Buescher I could have put there too. He had 13th, by the way. But definitely these 3 drivers, Johnson, Bowyer, and Newman, are having a great battle. I thought Newman wouldn't have been tied. I thought he was going to be a little bit farther back. He still kept his streak of finishing inside the top 25, literally finishing 25. He has yet to finish outside the top 25 this year, which is pretty good. He got really close to losing that streak, but we'll see what he can do next week at Michigan, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This battle is looking, it's close. It's fun to watch. Or no, we're at Bristol. Sorry, I just remember we're at Bristol next week. Why did I say Michigan? Do we not go? Is there not a second Michigan day? I'm sorry. I am slow in the head. Bowyer, Newman, Johnson. This is going to be a fun race to watch. It's a race within the race. Like I believe I said last week, or I might have said it on the podcast or something like that. It's definitely a fun race to watch. This is going to get a left turn rating of a 9 out of 10. Now, I don't know why necessarily it's a 9 out of 10. I feel like it was just off of being the perfect race, but I can't pinpoint as to why. I think I might feel really strongly about this race because Chase Elliott won, but I feel like a lot of people can agree this is a really great race. It was a great battle. Had some strategy play in it, and it also had, a moderate amount of cautions, but a lot of tempers. So we'll see how that goes. See, what comments are made between William Byron, Kyle Busch, and Bubba Wallace. But it'll be fun to see throughout the week, and definitely all around a great race. And it's up there with the greatest race of the year, I would say. That's going to do it for today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and comment down below what are you guys' thoughts on the race. Give me your ratings. Give me everything you guys thought about this race. Give me the whole shebang, and I'll make sure to comment with my thoughts on your thoughts. I guess that's kind of weird to say, but that's all I got. Make sure to do what I said earlier, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.